What's up, everybody? This is Saint Hills. Welcome to Saudade Stories, where I share with you the stories behind the music.
Yes.
So, Extran is one of my favorite songs I've ever made, like all time. I've never made a reggaeton song before. I was really influenced by Bad Bunny at the time. I remember when I first heard Bad Bunny, it was so interesting to me because it was a different type of reggaeton that I've never heard before. And it was a vibe. I've always wanted to make something with so many melodic vocal samples, and yeah, I don't know, to this day when I listen to that song I still relate to it, and I'm very proud of this song. So let's get into it. So the songwriting process for Te Extraño was interesting because at that point I knew what the concept of the album was about, and I had like at least half of the songs written, and I wanted to write songs that were about the concept. It was about longing, it was about saudade, it was about feeling like a stranger, like an outcast. And the word estranho in Portuguese means strange, but in Spanish when you say te extraño, that means I miss you, right? So I was just playing around with those words, and I came up with this idea of like encompassing all those themes into very, very simple lyrics. And that's why I didn't really like change up the verse the second time around. I focused on making the production more fine. But yeah, I think in a nutshell, the whole concept of Na Saudade, without saying the words Na Saudade, are in that song. If you like just pay attention to the words metaphorically. How I first started producing that song was I pulled up this guitar sample that I had, and instantly it made me feel sad. Like the guitar sample itself made me feel sad. And that was back then when my current wife and I were just starting to get to know each other, and I thought she didn't like me, and I was sad. So that's what I kind of started writing about, you know. But obviously I didn't miss her because we had just started to get to know each other. So
Sorry. I'm so sorry, I can't.
Of course, no, you have the right to cackle. But yeah, so basically I was just in the fields, man. It was a sad day, and that's where I started writing it from. But obviously I didn't like miss her because I had just started getting to know her, so like how could I miss her, right? But I wanted to write about missing, so I took that as a starting point, and then I started reflecting about other relationships in my life and other moments in my life, and then I wrote this from a sad saudade perspective. And then I produced this song Bad Bunny style, because like, who's better at making sad songs?
I want to share with you guys one thing in this song that I think really created the vibe for the whole track, and it's this vocal. I chopped it up all over the place, and I just added some reverb, and I did some EQing to it to create a sort of like dark melodic vocal ambiance. And I think that's what really like gave the song the vibe that it has. I also did a similar thing to my voice, the
Oh.
There's just something about the human voice that makes it feel so real and emotional that, I don't know, it's just, the human voice is like the most powerful instrument, you know? So
I think that's what really gave the song the vibe. That, and I mean the rhythm and the guitar as well. The reason I wanted to make a song in Spanish is because it's the third language I speak, and although I have cultural ties to Brazil and to America, and I don't really have cultural ties to a Spanish-speaking country, other than the fact that nowadays I consider myself a Latino, and I did not consider myself a Latino before I came to America. I think there's actually a statistic that I read one day on BBC, I'm pretty sure it was BBC, that like over 90% of Brazilians don't consider themselves Latino. So I never really felt that much of a connect to our neighboring countries until I came here, and I realized that I'm much more similar to Argentinian people culturally than I am to American people. But being in Brazil, I just had never realized that. So coming to America, I decided to learn Spanish. I had to take a language requirement, and so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna learn Spanish so that I can communicate with other Latinos in Spanish. So it was awesome, and that's why I wanted to make a song in Spanish. And also, I mean, Anitta is a great inspiration. She's one of Brazil's biggest artists, and when she started singing in Spanish, I was like, I can do that too. It's a great way to communicate with other people that I couldn't communicate with before. And I mean, in a business standpoint, like, honestly, it's a market that I would love to enter and have more contact with, because as I said, I listen to artists like Bad Bunny and other like Hispanic or Latino artists. Also, I think when you immigrate, you really have to understand the society that you're going into, and being Brazilian is being Latino in California, at least, which is something I did not know coming before. It's something I did not expect, but it's something that I learned and I embraced being here. That was it for today's episode. Stay tuned for the next Saudade story. That was good. Just giving it a really sad tropical vibe. And yeah, that's pretty much it.